This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
This is a fun one because so many of our listeners really hang on your every word with some of your old promos. Do you have a favorite promo that you've done yourself? Like, is there one that, you know, you look back and say, man, that's about as good as I ever did right there?
There's probably three that stand out. I think probably retirement, because that wasn't a promo. That was just me saying goodbye.
The My Spot, or is that a different one?
No, the one where I actually retired and made Kurt Hennig, gave him my spot. Gotcha. That one. Not the parody that followed.
Right.
Obviously. That one, probably the one from Disney after we got beat up, and myself and Rick and Sting and Ray were in the ambulance and carted off, and the next week we beat up the Boogeyman. That promo, which is the one that you brought up, the quote that I stole from the Untouchables: you take one of ours to the hospital, we take one of yours to the morgue.
Yep.
That promo. And I would think probably Greenville, when we're out in Greenville in the tuxes and stuff, and it was Rick's return to the company. I think those three probably stand out.
What about a favorite promo from someone else? You know, one of the more famous promos that people talk about are Dusty Rhodes' Hard Times and CM Punk's Pipe Bomb. Is there one that sticks out to you that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about, that you think, man, that guy was on top of his game right there?
No one in particular that is just stuck in my mind, I don't think. I know that when I was down in Pensacola, Bob Armstrong had a very convincing promo. And it was just a Southern firefighter that was now a wrestler and was just a tough son of a bitch. And he could talk that Southern stuff that you and I understand, Conrad, and the audience would just get behind him and they would believe in him. And if he told you payback was coming, you believed it. And he was one of the guys that I really loved to watch talk. You know, obviously Dusty never did a bad interview, I don't think, in his life. Paul Ellering used to entertain me a lot, putting the Road Warriors over.
How competitive was it when you guys were in the Horsemen? You know, Ole was known to be a strong promo. You obviously as well. Tully Blanchard could get heat like almost nobody else. And Ric Flair's promos at times were just out of this world. It almost felt like you guys were competitive with each other. Maybe it wasn't spoken or explicitly said, but you don't want to go out there if everybody else is shining like a diamond and come off looking like a turd. You got to bring your A game. Was there some competitiveness of, man, let's see if they can top this?
You know, and this is what's funny. We would never talk about who was going to go first or last or anywhere in the middle. It was just kind of working knowledge that we knew who had the big match. If Tully and I were going to be third match on that particular interview, we would just lay out. If Rick, you know, was always going to be the main event, we would let him either take the lead, step up. You knew once the microphone was ready to be handed off from Shivani, whoever stepped forward and took it, you knew we're going to lead off. And if it made the rounds and there was still a little bit of time left, you know, I would try to go second because I was selfish. I want to make sure I had enough time to get over. And I know that sounds selfish, but if you go at the very end and the promo has flowed so well that it should probably end with the guy that's ending right now, that last guy would just lay out and JJ would lean forward and put the four out. We'd all throw in four fingers and we were done. And it was almost just knowing, okay, this one has flowed well. Don't need to say anything else. But if you were wanting to talk and you only had 15 seconds left, You better have just one kill shot line, one Clint Eastwood line or something to shut it down with, because that's all you had, and you did not want to go over on that TV show, because it just, that time did not belong to you, and it was very valuable.
Let's talk about those four fingers. Brad writes, how hard was it to not put up the Four Horsemen four fingers hand gesture when you and Tully went to the WWF and all the fans were doing it back to you?
Well, the very first night, and we did it probably without thinking, they did hit us with it our very first time on TV, and without thinking, we shot it back to them. And when we came through the curtain, we were told, do not do that. That was then, this is now. It has nothing to do with the Four Horsemen. You know, you guys are in a different company or different characters. And they only had to tell us once.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.